Alright, so today guys, this video is going to start off a little bit different. I'm going to set up my 3D printer and I'm just going to be printing something while I'm talking about different topic today. Yeah, I want to try a lot of things with it, so we'll see. Got the USB for the rose. As that's preheating, I'll start talking a little bit about today's topic. Now, why today I wanted to print a rose is to demonstrate how in life, usually people, I feel like, focus when it comes to relationships, they focus on beauty most of the time instead of personality, because it's the first thing you see in a person, of course. With your eyes, you look at someone and you perceive someone based on their looks, but commonly it's most of the time just their actions and how they act and their personality, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk about today. I thought, and I had the same like guilty idea of how I thought it was just looks as well. Like I thought that, you know, I had a type as well. Thought I liked Asian girls and shit, and then I realized that I never dated an Asian girl, and like you often change how you're interested in someone, at least for me, based on their personality and based on how they act. Someone can look very, very, very beautiful, but if they act in a very bad attitude, it is an instant turn off for me. As it's doing that, I'll keep talking. I think also why I chose to print a rose is because it provides an example of what I'm talking about. Like, it's so easy to love something as beautiful as a rose, you know, it's easy to do that, but to love something that is so simple yet perceived as simple, it is also beautiful. It is just as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than a rose. When you think of that statistic that people hear about, like 50% of marriages they end up going into the divorce, is like, I think most of it is that when in time and length, you start to fully understand that person, what the struggles that they've been through, the habits that they've taken from trauma or whatever, when they were raised upon their parents and stuff. And I think most of the time people end up breaking up or going through a divorce because they aren't able to, they don't truly feel that love with that person. They don't truly feel that they should take their energy into that relationship and convert it into love. They don't want to put in that effort anymore. It doesn't feel natural to them anymore, and they end up giving up because it takes effort. A relationship takes effort, but that's the truth. It's like anything takes effort. It's like working out, you know, like you can get really good at working out, but sometimes you'll have those moments where you go through maybe you go through an accident where you can't work out anymore because your arm is injured, and then the hardest part is getting back into the gym and being okay with losing all that progress, or being okay with going over that huge hurdle. I feel like that's what most people end up suffering through. Life is filled with ordinary. We end up forgetting that life is very basic at times, you know. We often crave for something that's very entertaining for us. We consume so much like dopamine filled entertainment where we watch videos and we see people's highlights on social media, and we crave this everlasting idea of just best, our best version of ourselves every single day. But oftentimes it's the simple things in life that you need to love as well, and it's the simple things in another person that you need to love as well. And I think people chase perfection. People end up chasing this perfect idea of a person, this perfect partner that they need. But Yeah, people often chase perfection, but in reality, it's in our blood to live in imperfection, and we have to take that as something that's just normal in our lives. Um, Most of our lives are is just ordinary. We eat, and we can't really make those things so entertaining. We can only do so much with our energy every single day, and it's tiring to chase perfection. I think what ends up happening is people go through 3 years of relationship, 4 years, 5 years, whether it's 10 years, whatever. It could be 2 months, 2 years, 20 years. It doesn't matter. But they end up getting bored, and they end up realizing sometimes someone comes into their life and they find someone that is quote unquote perfect, but they're only seeing the good sides of that person because they've never seen the bad sides of that person. They've never seen the lazy nights of that person. They've never seen the true version of that other person that they think is perfect. And then what most sometimes happens is people break up and then they go into a new relationship, and it's this cycle of chasing this perfect partner, and it's just not the reality of life. And yeah, I think people need to realize that it's not the best to be on that path. It's not the best to chase perfection. You need to build that foundation, and it's beautiful to find. It's beautiful to appreciate that foundation. It's like that analogy that people give when people break up and they want to go into a new relationship quickly. It's often not the best idea because you're just chasing those butterflies. You're chasing something that you're running to find something, but you should often just focus on your own garden. You should build up your own things before you try to find those butterflies. But in the end, even if you don't find those butterflies, hey, you have a beautiful garden. So I think that's a thing we should all strive for. This is the progress. I think this is the stem. Yeah, this is the stem. It's only the first part of it. It's gonna have the rose stem at later, but yeah, we'll see how it turns out. First part complete. Here's the final product with some petals. It's a beautiful rose. I like it. I'll put it in the link of the description where I found the print. But I'll leave you with a quote that had an impact on me for love. But just remember that it's ordinary to love the beautiful, but it's beautiful to love the ordinary. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.